Hello and welcome to a rather quick tank preview on the 1.63 dev server. And I wanted to make this video because it features the tank, the FV4202, that gave me yet another lesson in, just having a closer look and not be reliant on my first raw look. Now, I didn't expect any miracles from this tank, but however, I was quite disappointed, but that might be due to the expectations that I had for the tank. Now, from the first raw look of it, it looks like a mini Chieftain, smaller gun, not the best ammunition, hull even less protective, and also the turret not as good, but it is a 6.0 tank and not an 8.0 tank like the Chieftain. But I think let's have a very quick look at the armor. Lower hull, bad. Upper hull, still bad despite the angle. Then we have this kind of overlay that can get overmatched if you're really unlucky. And then the turret. And the turret was the great hope that I had for this tank. Now we have here this massive turret ring, 200mm thick. That will become good once you use the 10 degrees of gun depression and you are quite a bit of a distance, like something like this. Yeah, a few degrees more. Yeah, it's a few millimeters more and you might be safe from an ice too. And then the stat card says 240 millimeters, and indeed we have areas with 240 millimeters, and that is basically unpenetratable for any kind of shell that you might face, with some exception if you get really hard up tiered. But then we also have this 240, but then 120, with no great angles. Then again, 170 on those areas. Relatively flat, but then we see extreme angles up to 400 millimeters, So this part gets penetrated by nearly everything. And a few centimeters more upwards, you're safe from the heat FS from a leopard. That's, yeah. Then again, just under 90, Then those 60 and those 90, they get penetrated by long 88s and 122 millimeters. And then we also have this prominent cupola, and everybody seems to hit it like with magic. Then also, there is even a portion of the tank that is just 60 millimeters thick, not very protected. The turret front is best described as a puzzle, and you have to rock forwards and backwards and wiggle your turret from side to side. What about the side armor overall? Now there we have 51 millimeters together with the 30mm side skirts and additional stuff. You should be at least safe from most AAA you face, so that's a relief. Still the turret ring, 90mm side armor, as well as here. And then we have the 92mm of rear armor and 31mm of rear armor for the hull. Yeah, so the hull is not that good, but it's not terribly bad. The turret itself is a puzzle. Let's have a look at the X-ray, and we see that we have a lot of ammunition throughout the entirety of the tank. So I would recommend to take out at least 8 shells from the 50 you carry. And if you want to NP them as well, is your personal thing, but mostly you will not die because of them, but because of them and this one gets emptied last. And we see that we have just 4 crew members, driver, gunner, and commander on the left hand side, and the loader on the right hand side. And the problem is when you get shot at the turret and the enemy gets a successful penetration, for example with an APHE, he can kill all 3 of them, or you're lucky and it detonates right next to the cannon breach and the shrapnels don't go down to the driver and just injure the loader. You're down to 2, and then you lose your greatest advantage, and that is the rate of fire. And the rate of fire on this fantastic 84mm 20-pounder Ordnance Quickfire Mark 1 is what makes this tank at least good when you can keep the gun singing. Let's have a look. Tank commander full leadership and tank loader full weapon reloading with, of course, the expert crew. And we can see a base reload of just under 8.2 seconds. I'm down to 6.7 and 6.3 for an ace/gold crew. So that's a really good gun in terms of rate of fire. It's also pretty accurate, it's a fantastic gun. At least when I played it. And we have also another advantage: you don't have to research anything. The bad thing is you can't research anything ammunition wise. You just have the shot Mark 1, which is a pure solid shot with APCBC. It tends to not bounce that hard as German APCBC shells. About 218mm with a solid shot. You need the rate of fire to back it up. You need to crew snipe. You have to go for ammunition racks. Sorry about that. And also go for engine shots. All that funny stuff. HE shell not worth talking about. Upgrade wise, go for firepower and protection. Mobility is not that important because you just have a top speed of 35 kilometers an hour. That is bad. So to sum it up, this tank is not... It has a fairly good acceleration, but it's not a Hellcat. The top speed is not good. The armor is not reliable, especially the hull is bad. So you're better off to flank the enemy and to go hull down, and also deny the enemy the clear aimed shot. So always keep a bit moving, rocking forwards, backwards, wiggling the turret a little bit, and the enemy might just shoot at portions of the tank that might cause a lucky ricochet. But overall, don't expect this thing to be anything like the Centurion Mark III, which is, in my opinion, a way better tank. The last thing about the mobility is the reverse gear. It's really bad. It's like all the other British tanks before, and I hope that we see a tank that performs just like a lower battle rating Centurion Mark III or a Carnarvon. Therefore, those two tanks are fantastic tanks. Together with the Tortoise, they make the 6.7 bracket for the British really enjoyable. Not like King Tiger enjoyable, but still enjoyable. Yeah, but this is some sort of transition tank. It features the 20-pounder, from the Challenger, the gun changes, but you don't have a PDS like on the Centurion, which makes this tank really good. Also, the turret armor on the Centurion Mark III is more reliable, despite being like 90mm thinner, at least on paper. So yeah, there is nothing for this tank to get hyped about. And the background you see in the gameplay that you see in the background supports my opinion. I have to say that my opinion was based on what I saw on the dev server, and the dev server is quite different from the live server. I couldn't, play like I usually do, because the matches were mostly empty and filled by bots, and also the matchmaking was horrible. Like there was no BR like spread. I met IT1s, T10Ms, all that funny stuff, you know, Teddy's U57s, but I also faced Shamans, so it's like the bracket is plus minus 3 or something like that, you know, it feels like that, and that is not very enjoyable, to be honest. Now, is this tank good, very good, bad, very bad? Is it a stinker? Does it need a, you know, a certain playstyle? I think it's situational. When you can keep the gun firing and you have, you know, not too steeply angled armor plates, you will have a good time. But the second you get shot, you know, things change. And I think the crippling 3 parameters are the bad hull, and the bad reverse speed, and the bad top speed forwards. Everything else is not that bad, to be honest. So I think this is not really a tank preview, as a more in-depth realistic expectations episode. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this kind of video, if you like it, or if I, you know, should wait until the server gets live and then, you know, play the tank normal and then get my opinion on it. But to be honest, I don't expect this tank to change much. Yeah, that's it for today. I still hope you liked it. If so, please give this video a like and subscribe if you want to see more, if you're not subscribed already. And see you next time on the battlefield.